Yeah, I thought it'd be cool for us to just chat. Like, me and you are in the same position in a lot of ways, probably being small business owners and bosses to employees, where we maybe haven't done that a whole lot before, and creative things and all of that. So tell me a little bit about Golden Press.
Yeah, man. It's been a journey, man. Golden Press, I started out as just a screen printing company in my 2-car garage.
Yep.
And I wanted, really, I was in the band scene, and I had I was in a national touring band, did that for many years of my life. And I was like, I dealt with screen printers. I knew the ins and outs because I ordered all the merchandise. I was the band manager.
Yeah.
And, I was like, man, I think I can do this better. You
have to order from a new person every year because the other person closed or raised their prices or whatever.
100%. And I was like, and then, I understand a little more now, but like, man, it's like 4 weeks out to get some shirts, like, are you kidding me? Like, like when you're in a touring band and you're on tour, like you run out at that show. It's like, how do you get stuff out quick enough, to, keep people buying merch?
Yeah.
And so I went into this thing, it's like, I think I can do it better. And I actually think that, I can probably offer quicker turnaround times.
Mm-hmm.
And so I prided myself on the first few years as like, I'm the Amazon Prime of screen printing. I killed myself, printing, getting orders. Like my fastest order, when I first started out, I did a day turnaround.
Oh my gosh.
And it was eventful.
I think I was one of those. I think I got some shirts for our guitar pedal company, and you literally drove them down to me like 2 days later or something. And I was like, that's the fastest I've ever gotten anything.
I'll make this long story short, but I had the Hunter the punter. He was his band at the time, Hunter Smith Band. Through a connection, he's like, they're playing a show at the fairgrounds, state fairgrounds. They need shirts tonight. I was in Plainfield cleaning windows for my other business, and I like, no joke, I could move my schedule around. I got back to the studio, burn a screen, set everything up. I actually drove to this person's house because I knew they had blank shirts because they were the printing shop going out of business, and so they had to inventory.
Oh my God.
I grabbed those shirts, went and printed them, and literally delivered them by like 6 o'clock that day. And they're like, yeah, we sold out of them, and they wouldn't have had them if I didn't do all that. And it's crazy to think about that story because I just printed shirts for them the other day.
That's awesome.
8 years later, so it has its perks. But I started out as a screen printing company. And I moved out of my garage into, a commercial spot, and I was like, man, I really care about my space. I care about the visuals. I want people to think that, I didn't want them to feel like they were going into a screen printing shop. That's why it's called Golden Press Studio.
Yeah.
A creative place, and I spent a lot of money fixing up someone else's building to, just have this aesthetic that would grab people online, social media, and just be like, man, they're doing it different. Their shop looks cool. I just want to go to their shop. No real reason. I don't even want shirts.
Yeah.
I just want to go there to hang out. And, soon as that kind of started working, Corey and I, my graphic designer, we just started printing shirts in this new space. It started looking good. And he just wanted to do some like stylized photography. And I was like, wait, you do photos? Like, he was my graphic designer. I didn't even really know.
Sweet.
He was like, wanted to do that or was good at it. And then he started taking photos. I was like, dang, dude, like, he just has an eye for editing. And I was like, dang. I was like, yeah, dude, let's do this. And we started posting stylized photos on our Instagram. And it just like, it took off. Like our social medias just started growing rapidly. And I was like, dang, okay. Like people actually care about this stuff.
Yeah.
And then like we found out that, they like, in our industry, people grab their phone and just hold it over the press and take a photo. Sure. And then I was like, I hate it. I love, seeing cool designs and this and that, but it's like, man, like, are we just watching Platens all day? You scroll the feed, it's just the same photo, on other people's Instagram. And he goes, people care about people, they want to know what other people are doing. Mm-hmm. And so if you look at our Instagram, there's, over 1,000 photos of my face, printing shirts, behind my press, behind the cool studio. And we just started getting noticed, and our social media started really growing. And then one day I told Corey, I was like, hey man, you're on payroll, so you do whatever I want. I need you to do a video. I was like, dude, you got a camera. All you have to do is push the button.
Flip it into video mode. Come on.
Exactly. And he like had the like deer in the headlights face. And I was like, no, I want you to do this. Like,
yeah.
And he did it. He was a good employee. He did it. And funny enough, he was sending, these video segments over to Jared, which is now my videographer. It's like, hey man, how's this look? And Jared's like, wait, are you doing a video for him? I like offered to do videos for him. I was like, but anyways, Jared was a sport, and he, was helping Corey edit. And then Corey's like, all right, man, here it is. And Jared's like, it looks about 25% done. He's like, oh no, that's the finished product.
That's it.
And Jared was like, we need to set up a meeting with Jonathan. And I need to talk to him again about doing some video for Golden Press. And crazy story. Jared, he came in, we had a meeting. I remember the day, it was Labor Day. And he came in pitching the idea. He wanted to be a videographer. He wanted to use me as a, like a monthly retainer client.
Oh, yeah.
Him come in and just, do, X amount of videos for me every month. And we went to Starbucks in Franklin, and we had this meeting, and like just that light bulb went off. I was like, wait a second, we could do that for other businesses. Mm-hmm. I was like, what do you think about me hiring you to do that for Golden Press? And literally his pitch kind of merged with like my idea of like, hey, we're no longer a screen printing company.
Yeah.
Like we're a complete branding content company for any business. And I remember this just like yesterday. I go, hey man, put in your 2 weeks notice. He was working at a landscaping business, which he loved, and he was really disappointed that he had to leave there.
Yeah.
He no joke, called instantly, put in his 2 weeks notice. Yeah. And then he he just started doing consistent video stuff for me. And then it's crazy. We also in that meeting, like literally we had some scribbles on a piece of paper of like monthly retainer, like how to get a business in, and we can provide this, and this for them every single month, consistent basis. And no joke, I still have a piece of paper. I found it yesterday. And the cool thing is we are literally doing all those things and more than what we wrote down on that piece of paper.
So that's awesome.
It's really, really cool. But so we turned from a screen printing company to where we basically do everything. Mm-hmm. Our business today, we offer, graphic design, screen printing, photography, videography. We do, we have a recording studio now to where we can record bands.
Nice.
Yeah. We also do a podcast, and we now have a tattoo studio, in the front of one of our locations.
Yeah.
And then of course, new year, new me, we just started another form of a business, and we offer, coaching for all of those services we provide now. So
nice.
So, just if people want to book a call with me about screen printing, Jared Video, Corey Design, and now we're offering coaching, trying to help other creatives, do what they love to do.
Yeah. So let's go back a little bit and just talk a little bit about hiring your first employees. It's such a crazy idea. Like, to me, when I first even got the notion, like, I can't do all of this anymore. Yeah. What am I going to do? And like, literally when I started, I'm hoping just to support myself, let alone hire somebody else and support their salary and all of that. And so I don't know, just kind of talk to me how you felt through all of that. And I don't know, did you run into some hurdles with that? Did it all go pretty smoothly?
So it did for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
Corey, I'll harp on him all day. Corey, so go back a little further, I started screen printing, it was 2016, January of 2016, mm-hmm. 15. Yeah, 2015. And I was also had a full-time job. So I was working 9 to 5 and then coming home, eating dinner and going out in the garage and printing shirts for hours.
Yeah.
And I did that for an entire year. And then I got offered to buy the business that I was working for. I worked for a window cleaning business. And crazy enough, I was like, wait, I just became like my own business owner. Do I really want to take on 2 businesses? And
might as well.
I mean, I'm already doing it, and so I did. And through all that, I was like, well, I need to focus. Like, screen printing's my, my dream. It's what I want to do for the rest of my life. Like, that's what I want to do. So I instantly had to hire, a window cleaner to help with the schedule.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of like my first experience of hiring someone. And I was able to hire some friends through the years, and they, they worked out well. But my whole focus was like, this business can kind of run in the background. Like, all my focus is like really towards this, and that kind of like got put on the back burner a lot. I mean, it was, I was basically running that company anyways for years, and so it just, I had some systems. It was flowing really well. Yeah, so. But hiring an employee that you don't know if you can not really pay them was kind of that situation.
Uh-huh.
And with Corey, he, like, from the get-go, he just won me over because he was like, hey man, I want to do graphic design full time. I'll clean. So he was he was my window cleaner.
Oh yeah.
And so he was doing that, and then after he would be done, and some days we had shorter days, he would get done with his route work and, no joke, drive to Franklin and just help me fold shirts, help me with some artwork. And so he just, no joke, and he offered free. So he wanted to, he's like, if I can get buddy in the studio, in the print,
the internship.
Yeah. He's like, maybe it'll be, a full-time gig.
Yeah.
And so we did that for, probably a year and a half in the garage. And I started charging people for design work to where I could, I was like, hey man, if I have the design work, I'll pay you X amount and I'll take a little bit. And now I can offer designing, to people. And it really went pretty well. And then we got the commercial space, and I told him, I was like, hey man, you're full time now.
Yeah.
You don't have to do window work anymore. You're full time. Start drawing, man. So really, Corey and just his whole dynamic, he instantly kind of had clientele. And he was so busy, I was letting him do freelance work on top of working for Golden Press, Yeah. So I was like, hey man, when you're here and you're working, I was like, even when I hired him full time too, he just kept on getting commissions after commissions of design work. And he just came to me one day. He goes, hey man, I like, I want to run all my like all my, separate commissions. I just want to run them through Golden Press. I don't want to design all day and then go home and design more, like, and he has, he had a wife, and a kid at the time. And I was like, no, man, that makes sense. And as the boss, I'm like, wow, like, that's pretty selfless of you.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Like, you could be I'm giving you the opportunity to make extra money, but really I offered him a salary, and he's just like, hey man, I want to work in these hours, and I want to be able to have time, with my family.
Yeah.
So I was able to offer him that, but he was able to offer, the company just his clientele and, people he already worked with. And so, hiring Corey, it was really smooth. Hiring Jared, on the other hand, ooh, let's talk about this guy. Jared, for looking back, hindsight's 2020. I just figured this out recently. After him working for me, I think it's like 5 years now.
Takes time.
Yeah, it takes 5. That the reason why I hired him is to do stuff for me.
Yeah.
Like, every time, we do some client work and all that, but he really thrives making our company look good.
Yeah.
That's his strong point. And, we found out, like, no joke, after 6 months of hiring Jared, I was able to turn the video side of the business to a 6-figure a year business overnight. Like, just within that 6 months, we landed contract after contract, and I was like, holy smokes,
yeah,
this is awesome. And then, I seen my very creative videographer just coming in and just not being stoked on all the stuff that he was creating, like, and just dealing with clients that, you guys, how it goes, right? And no joke, I was like, yeah, that's got to change, because I want him to feel like, we can create something we're proud of, and we're investing into something that's only going to benefit us, down the road.
Yeah.
We could invest all this time into a client, and they could call us up tomorrow and say, we hired someone else.
Thanks for helping build my business.
Yeah, exactly.
Later.
Yeah. So, but no, we joke around with Jared, but, like, no joke, like, I knew that when I started hiring people after that it's a risk as a business owner.
Sure.
That, it's like, hey, I hope this area does well.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that there's not enough hours in the day. And you don't want me editing video or taking video or any, like, just hire people that have the experience. And, Jared's, has 15 plus years of experience, like, I can't do that, and so I learned, I would say very quickly, that, if there was another added service that I wanted to provide, with my, Golden Press, like, I just knew I had to hire people.
Mm-hmm.
And the cool thing, for me is that, I get to hire people and give them an opportunity to do what they love.
Yeah.
And that's that like part of the boss that it's the hardest part of it, but it's the most fulfilling part of it too.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think, like, Kyle was the first guy I hired, and it was similar that he kind of worked for me on and off for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Probably. And then we kind of moved to, hey, what if you worked 4 12-hour shifts or whatever it was, 10-hour shifts at your job, but you had 1 day a week for me. And then, at some point it was like, can't do any more than that without taking the plunge.
For sure.
So another friend, Jonah, and I, who now works for me also, we're up in Chicago and just kind of looking at budget and stuff for the next year. And it just got to the point where it was like, what are you waiting for?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. So I came back and said, hey, I want you to put in your 2 weeks. And Kyle was like, shock. But man, like, getting them now with 2 full-time guys anyway, and obviously, you know, there's still ups and downs with all of it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But I think the same with me. My hope was to get, I don't know, one, work with my friends,
Yeah.
and two, like help them be able to kind of do what I was able to do and get into something that I'm passionate about and make a living, but actually enjoy it and still have, like, be able to put family over work and not have somebody else tell you, no, you have to be here. It doesn't matter what's going on at home, or, you know, so that's just, I don't know. It's huge.
Yeah. That's a thing, you know, with my guys that, you know, I guess, you know, it's funny, this, like, you know, business owner role that we just kind of walk into, that to us, you know, I know you, I've known you for many years, and we're, you know, like-minded in a lot of things, and we share a lot of the same values. It seems so easy for us, but to, like, hiring other people, like, I think we forget that they walk into a friendship / relationship that's already been established.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, Corey or Jared, like, I know their wives. I know their kids, you know, like I live life with them, you know? And so, you know, when, you know, one of their wives are sick and they're trying to take care of kids, like, my brain just says, yeah, just go home, man.
Yeah. Take care of it.
Like, it's like your, you know, you being an employee of mine is not dictated by an 9 to 5.
Yeah.
It's dictated by you being invested in my company / our company, because I tell them all the time, I was like, it's not mine.
Yeah.
It's like, it's ours. You guys have so much ownership of it. Like, I give you guys, you know, the ability to talk and invest into me what you think is best for, you know, next steps of the company. And again, it helps me in, you know, being close and being friends and all that. Again, that's so much a benefit, but it's also the hard part too.
Yep.
It's like, I love you, but get crap done. You know, like, it's like, wait, it took you all day? Okay. We got to revisit this, you know?
Yeah. Oh man. So, you've been, obviously, like, I love what you're doing with Jared and investing in your own brand, because it's something that I feel like so many people just don't even do it. Like, it's not worth it. We need to focus on what we're doing for clients, but just how, like, you guys have grown your Instagram, your YouTube channel as far as Golden Press, but then the Golden Boys podcast. You guys are doing all kinds of super cool stuff. I love watching all of it. But obviously you talked a little bit about what you're starting to do now with these coaching calls, and kind of just another way that you're investing into other people and other companies. So kind of walk me through what that looks like, because I mean, that's going to be huge for a lot of people to have those one-on-one and talk through specific issues or ways to build their brand or business and that kind of thing. So how did that come about?
And this is like one of those happy accidents.
Yeah.
You know, like, if again, looking back, you know, I just look at these, like, last, you know, seven-ish years of, like, I told the guys, I was like, holy smokes, like, I built the infrastructure to coaching without even knowing I was.
Oh yeah.
You know, like, you know, we're, you know, it's funny, we say we're full-time YouTube, like, we're full-time, but we need to post more. Basically, what I'm saying when I say that is that we have invested many hours, many finances into equipment, you name it, to do YouTube. Yeah. Because we saw that it was a niche market for screen printing, and that nowadays there's a ton of, you know, screen printing YouTubers, and which is good, and I'm happy for it, and it should continue to grow. But, like, we kind of got in toward, like, the beginning to a degree. And, you know, basically, you know, YouTube is this very hard game of, I'm going to invest all this time and money into something I don't know if it's going to benefit me. Like, you can try to figure out algorithms. You can try to figure out what people are going to like and this and that. And at the end of the day, like you really do, you have to find what people are going to love and enjoy to watch. And it's hard knowing what people want and watch. Cause I'm like, oh, this is a genius idea, and like, that video,
this is going to blow up.
But basically, we've been doing YouTube. I think it's been like 4-ish years now. And what I didn't know I was doing was I was building this platform and I was opening this like gateway for people to feel like they were a part of what we were doing. Again, like I love watching YouTube videos. I love watching, I can go into other people's studio and see their setup. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's awesome. That's inspiring. And I wanted to create the same thing. And the cool thing is people enjoyed it, and, I talked about the whole Instagram thing. Well, it kind of flipped to, we're trying to take our Instagram following to, our YouTube following and like to try to boost that up. And, just the cool thing is people enjoyed it. People started getting excited about what we were doing. And guess what? YouTube is free content. And so looking back now, I'm like, holy smokes. Like I invested all this time and money and all this to create free content for people to learn, which is a very valuable asset for people to get. And because I do that, then they're going to think highly of us and be like, yeah, these guys are good. Like they invested all this time in this video to teach me how to print, And now with us doing coaching, that's how I'm landing my coaching calls. Is like, hey, like I watched this video. Like people are telling me our YouTube videos on coaching calls.
Nice.
It's like, I watched that video and you taught me how to do this. And I'm like, oh man, this is awesome.
That's awesome.
And so, I built this platform and this infrastructure of coaching without knowing I did it. And so now, first of the year, we just launched that we were doing coaching, and I've been, humbled and just like, wow, like, people need this, people just need an hour of their time to just troubleshoot and just talk out, I tell everybody, like, I got all the headaches so that you won't have to, or at least I can save you some, with a phone call, and the cool thing is for all of us doing YouTube, doing the channel, doing all the things that we do, just continue to grow a passion to teach others and educate, and people are excited about it. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, man.
So if hopefully people are watching this, someone is let's say a small business owner, probably a lot of in the creative side of things. Is there one or even a couple things talking about this coaching tips you can give people kind of starting out to avoid a couple headaches?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, another thing, just like, you're a videographer, right? And you're a lot of things.
Some people say,
you're a lot of things, right? So did you go to business school?
Nope.
I'm a screen printer, right? Like I got into screen printing. Oh, I guess I'm a business owner now, right? And so that's the, a part of the creative like industry is that you have to become a business owner. And you don't you can talk to me about cameras and, lights and all that stuff all day long. And then I'm like, so how'd you do on your taxes, or how's your CP, your CPA, like all these things, like who runs your payroll, like all these things that, it's just like, I struggled for many, many years in this, like, running the business side, because that's not fun. Like I want to print shirts, or I want to take cool photos, do cool videos. It's like, oh man, oh shoot, I got to run payroll this week, like, so, so soon, no joke. One tip that I would suggest anybody is try to get a business coach, someone you can talk to, that can, kind of help you nudge these way, get past a few of the headaches with just running an actual business. But also, for me, I was like, payroll was such a taxing thing for me. Like, I was like, paying Corey via PayPal, but like having to like upload it in QuickBooks so that, my taxes and all this. And I like, no joke, a buddy's like, hey, I got a company that does my payroll. I'm like, really? I was like, oh, sweet. I'll check them out. They charge me $100 a month. And I'm like, wait, they do everything? They do everything for that much? $50 every 2 weeks? Like, sign me up. And
oh my gosh.
Like just that right there was like, it took so much weight off me, you know, like, and then, I would suggest anybody find a good CPA that will, help you, make good, good business purchases and knowing what to look out for at the end of the year. And, all those things that's the stuff that, people don't tell you, when you're starting a business, you have to figure it all out yourself. So, talk with people that, do have some experience in that. Also, it's funny. I've gone back on like, I feel like I'm just starting like a business yesterday. To where, I hire my friends and I'm trying to get my friends to come into this creative, ecosystem of a business offering a lot of services, but like I'm taking them from other jobs and I'm like, oh yeah, your salary. Okay. Tight. So I have to pay that every 2 weeks. Right. Like, but I need them and they're my friends. And so I can rely on them and I know they'll put in the extra hours and I know all this stuff. But looking back now, I'm like, man, I really should have just kind of did a little by little until like that form of services was like making enough money to really cover costs. And so now I've went backwards, which is cool. To where, we have a few apprentices. So I got one guy that, he apprentices 1 day a week and I don't pay him a single thing. And then he comes in and slowly I'm taking him away from his job at Walmart. So
nice.
And so it's kind of like, hey, I need you when I need you. But if you're standing around or there's just no work coming in, like there's no need for you to be here. But he's also, he's also a graphic designer. And so we're trying to grow him in that, which are avenues where, we can make good money on
for sure.
designing and stuff like that. So my advice is, hire people that you trust and slowly build them into full-time positions. And again, as a business owner, you have your ups and downs and you can't always kind of plan that out. You're still going to just have months to where you're like, wait, nobody needs anything from us. Tight. But I think this way it takes a little bit of pressure off you, the business owner, of just like, oh man, I don't have to like, just make magic happen all the time. So that's what I got right now as far as tips. It's a great, again, I'll be encouraging, like it's awesome to work for yourself. Like there really is a phenomenal feeling. We redid our bios on our website and it's not like my life motto or anything. Like I don't do the cheesy stuff, but like it is one of those things to where, if entrepreneurship was easy, everyone would do it. And so I've just been kind of leaning on that. Like, especially within the last few months of like, wow, I've been doing it for a while. Like I don't think us business owners give ourselves enough credit. To like, holy crap, we made this happen.
And it's like it's a long-term investment, really.
The long game.
But it is, but you also forget, like, even where you and I are at now, just the fact that we're making a living from a business that we started. And that's pretty amazing.
It is.
And it didn't start out that way.
Making checks.